Hello guys and gals, welcome back to another episode of Haunted Gaming. And yes, I can do MortalKombat.exe. Okay, so before I start this creepypasta, I'm actually going to read it word for word, since it is shorter, and I want to please both sides. People that like it word for word, and people that like the summary, so don't worry. I'll just keep switching it up to please both sides. And yeah, so without much ado, let's start MortalKombat.exe. I've always been a fan of Mortal Kombat games, especially the Mortal Kombat Project games, but not anymore. In fact, I hate even hearing about the game. One day I was surfing the web for some games for my emulators, and I happened to come across a game called MortalKombat.exe. I'm not going to give out the link for the safety of you and your computer, but anyways, I thought it would be boring and dull, but when I looked at the RAM it took up, it said that it took 2 gigs. So I thought to myself that the game would be exciting, because I've never downloaded a Mortal Kombat game that took so much memory. So I clicked on the download link and started downloading the game. Surprisingly, it took over 4 hours for the entire game to download. The download then finished, but that's when things started to get weird. The download box popped up letting me know that the download was finished, so I clicked run. Then my laptop screen burst into static and started playing frequently high-pitched noises. Then the laptop literally went black. I then grunted to myself in anger, trying to turn my laptop back on, and after a few tries it finally did turn on. It was the same as before, except the game was on the desktop. I thought to myself that the laptop probably just crashed because it was just a large download, so I clicked on the game and started playing it. There was no music playing, the screen showed Goro and there was the words arcade, versus, practice, options, and exit. So I clicked arcade and the Mortal Kombat 1 arcade theme burst out of my speakers violently, nearly shaking the whole house. So I muted my computer thinking nothing of the sound. And what came up? I couldn't believe. The character selection screen came up showing a total of 276 characters. I was amazed. This was the best Mortal Kombat ever. So I selected one of my favorite characters, Chameleon. Only there were 6 versions of him, so I chose the Mortal Kombat Trilogy Chameleon. Then a box popped up on the selection screen saying choose stage. There was a total of 500 stages, only making the game better. So I chose my favorite place to fight, the Mortal Kombat 1 pit. When I selected the stage, Shao Kahn's voice said, "Good choice, Lane." 2 things popped into my head. 1, how did he know my name? And 2, how is this voice coming up even though my speakers are muted? Then the loading screen pops up. I had to fight Hydro, a Mortal Kombat Project character, so I started fighting and finally got to the point where Shao Kahn's voice said, "Finish him!" Then a box popped up showing a list of names. One is my friend's name, Jordan. So I clicked Jordan just for fun, and another box came up saying choose fatality. Then a box popped up saying fatality 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and stage fatality. I thought it was awesome that every character had 10 fatalities and a stage finisher. So I chose stage fatality, and when I clicked stage fatality it showed my character, Chameleon uppercutting Hydro, causing him to fall into a pit, causing him to fall into the pit spikes at the bottom. When he hit the ground, very realistic blood shot out of him as he screamed in agony. But Hydro's scream nearly broke my speakers that it was so loud. I was angry that I kept hearing noises from the game as I'd muted my computer, and confused as to why the noises were even so loud. Then the words "Chameleon wins, fatality" came up on the screen, but there was no Shao Kahn saying the name and fatality. Then Shao Kahn's voice came up saying, "You will never win, Lane." And I meant loud. Then a bunch of pop-ups saying MortalKombat.exe is not responding came up, crashing my laptop. I was frightened. I tried to turn it back on, but it wouldn't power on. I thought it must have been a virus. Angrily I put up my laptop, thinking to myself that I could try to fix it in the morning, since I'm good with computers. I then went to bed, trying to sleep, but still thinking about why the game knew my name. I woke to the ringing noise. It was my iPhone 4. I looked at my phone and checked what time it is. 2:30 a.m. I then answered the phone only to hear my friend's mom crying. I asked her to tell me what was wrong and what were the siren sounds in the background. She told me that the sirens were police and ambulance sirens and that Jordan was dead. He had several large holes in his body. I bolted downstairs trying to turn on my laptop, but then a message box popped up saying, "Thank you for playing, Lane, but I told you, you will never win." I was screaming and crying in horror and despair as several message boxes popped up saying never. Then the worst thing ever happened to me. A bunch of pictures of dead adults, children, and babies popped up on the screen. Then a message box popped up saying, "Look at him." Then a picture of my friend Jordan was shown. His eyes gouged out and his intestines popped out laying on the floor. He also had several gory holes in his body. The screen then went black and a Mortal Kombat font came up saying, "Lane wins. Fatality." The screen then went black. It's been 4 months since the incident and I'm traumatized by it, just like anybody else would be. The police found the man who killed Jordan. Oddly, he's the creator of the game I downloaded. Yesterday I was flipping through the channels on my TV and I saw Jordan's killer in court on a TV show. I had to watch. After about 5 minutes, the judge asked him what he had to say before he was locked up. He responded by looking at the camera and saying, "Lane, you will never win," violently laughing as the bailiff carried him away. So that was a pretty unique creepypasta, and it was also pretty decent. It wasn't very long, but it was pretty creepy. The ending was really unique with the serial killer and whatnot, and to be honest, I don't recall a gaming creepypasta that really ended like this. And the use of the serial killer and the haunting words that he said to the player in the end through the camera was creepy, almost as if you were watching the player, I guess. And that alone is creepy to think about. And even the inclusion of one of the player's best friends getting murdered in the game and in real life was pretty cool as well. The bad things about this creepypasta is some of the technical literary errors. Stuff like grammar, punctuation, spelling, etc. But then again, it wasn't so bad that you couldn't get through it without, a lot of problems, I guess. Besides that, I really don't have a problem with this creepypasta. I mean, it's short and it is legitimately creepy. And if I really had to find an, inherent problem, it really would just be nitpicking. In the end, I thought it was pretty good. And I definitely recommend you all to go check this creepypasta out. Links in the description below. And that's really it. I thought it was good. I thought it was genuinely creepy, albeit it was short, but it was decent. And, it was creepy. I liked it. It was unique. So that's really it. And a question I actually have to ask all of you as well is, what do you think I should do some bad creepypastas as well? I mean, I already did a couple, but I mean really bad. Stuff like I wouldn't even be doing an analysis on, I'd really just be ripping in a new one. So tell me what you think in the comments section below. This has been another episode of Haunted Gaming, and if you like what you saw, then like, comment, and subscribe. This is me, Mutahar, from Some Ordinary Gamers, and I'm out.